Hi everyone and welcome back. So today we're going to take a look at lesson 3.3. This is called Converting Rates and Systems, and this is page 200. All right, so go ahead and put your name up at the top and put your class hour and today's date. And let's go ahead and take a look. So we're going to convert rates using dimensional analysis. Convert rates. Using dimensional analysis. And then we're also going to convert between systems of measurement. Convert between systems of measurement. All right, so today we're going to look at measurements, obviously. And we're going to be basically converting from the imperial system, which is what we use, and the metric system. So all the other countries, except for I think there's 3 of us that use our own measurement system that don't use metrics as their main system. Since we're one of those, we have to learn the other one as well. So if we would quit being hard-headed and just learn metrics like everyone else has, it'd be a whole lot easier because then we'd only have to learn one thing. Otherwise, we have to learn 2, and we also have to be able to convert between them sometimes. Okay? All right, so the key thing for today to remember is you need to match up your measurements diagonally in order to cancel. Okay, so let's do a little star right here. So we're going to match up measurements. Match up measurements diagonally to cancel. All right, so this kind of goes along with the last lesson, which we're going to be working with fractions and canceling things out. But the problem is we're not always going to be canceling out numbers. Okay, this time we're actually going to be canceling out words. All right, I know that's weird, but that's what we're going to do. So we're actually going to cancel out like miles. We're going to cancel out the word hours, or it might be canceling out the word minutes. We might be doing seconds. It could be kilometers. It could be grams, okay? So it's going to be lots of different things. We're going to be canceling out words more than numbers themselves. All right, so let's take a look at the first one. Before I forget, you will need a calculator for sure for this one. Okay, the math just gets too difficult. So whenever you do this, go ahead and grab a calculator and have it ready to go so that way you've got the whole thing ready, all right? So if you don't have one, pause it and go grab one because I'm using one too because the math just gets a little bit too crazy sometimes to try to do all this by hand. So go ahead and pause if you need to and then come back to us as soon as you're ready. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to convert 100 miles per hour into miles per minute. All right, so when we're traveling in the car, we do usually go by hour. Well, like in NASCAR, they're traveling very, very fast, so they might be actually going hundreds of miles per minute, right? Maybe not hundreds of miles, but nonetheless, okay? They may travel at least, so many miles per minute. So we're going to take a look at that part today. All right, so let's take a look. So what we're going to do is we need to write the unit rate first, okay? Write the unit rate first. So how much one of something was. In this case, it's the 100 miles per hour. So we're going to start with 100 miles. And we're going to write it as a fraction. So 100 miles is going to go over per hour, and that means 1 hour, right? So it's going to go over 1 hour. Okay, now we are going to be multiplying the whole entire time today. All right, no division or anything like that, at least not until the very end. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how to get into minutes. All right, well, how do I convert an hour into minutes? So you have to think, well, how many minutes are in 1 hour? In that case, that would be 60. Well, again, go back to my little asterisk. We need to match up measurements diagonally to cancel. So what are we trying to get rid of? We're trying to get rid of the hour part. Okay, we need miles, right? Miles and miles. Instead of hour, though, we need to change it to minutes. So we're going to put the hour on top. So 1 hour is going to be equal to 60 minutes. Okay, and like I said, we're mostly going to be canceling out words this time. So what's actually going to happen is we're going to cancel out 1 hour and 1 hour. Okay, so that means I'm left with 1 here and 1 here. Okay, well 100 times 1 is 100, and then 60 times 1 is 60. So we end up with 100 miles over 60 minutes. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and divide that. So we're going to type in 100 divided by 60. All right, now, yes, I realize we could have canceled on that one and all that. It's just easier to do it at the end this time. All right, I'll just tell you. All right, it gets a little bit weird if you try to cancel out in the middle of the problem. Okay, so we're going to take 100 divided by 60, and we're going to round off. So that's going to give us 1.67, if I remember correctly. Let me double check that again. I'm trying to do it in my head. I shouldn't be. 100 divided by 60. Yeah, that's 1.6 repeating. Okay, so we need to round that off. So we're going to do 1.67. So it's going to be approximately 1.67. And then it's going to be miles per minute. Okay, so again, basically what we're doing is we're multiplying fractions. The hardest thing is that you have to get to is you got to cancel out your time sometimes. All right? So again, go back to the asterisk. You're trying to match up your measurements diagonally in order to figure out what you're going to cancel. All right, let's go ahead and look at the next one. If you think you've got to, go ahead and try it on your own. Otherwise, you can stick with me. And let's go ahead and take a look. This time it's financial literacy. The average teenager spends $1,742 per year on fashion-related items. How much is this per week? All right, so first we gotta write the unit rate. So that's gonna be 1742. And that's in years, so that's money, so that's dollars. Okay, in 1 year, which is YR. Okay, they wanna know how much this is per week. Well, we're in years, and I gotta transfer it into weeks. So you gotta ask yourself, well, how many weeks are inside of a year? And that means there's 52. Well, since I'm trying to convert it into weeks, what am I trying to cancel out? The money or the year? We're trying to cancel out the year. So we're going to put times. We're going to do 1 year on top. And 1 year is equivalent to 52 weeks. Okay, the word year cancels. Okay, in this case, when I multiply across the top, I'm left with 1,742 on top. That's dollars. And then I'm left with 52 weeks on the bottom. And now we're going to calculate the new unit rate. Okay, so we're going to take 1,742, and we're going to divide that by 52. 1,742, we're going to divide that by 52. And I got 33.5, and that means money, so that would be $33.50. So it will be, let's see, did it come out even? Yes, it was even, so we need equals this time. Okay, so equals, it's $33.50 per week. Okay, so again, you have to think to yourself, which measurement am I trying to get rid of? Since in this case we started in years, I needed to get rid of the year and transfer it into weeks, so that means I needed to cancel a year, so those need to be diagonal from each other. Okay, most of the time it'll kind of look like this, although sometimes it will be top and bottom. All right, so there you go. All right, let's take a look at number 2. Okay, it says Tyree and 3 friends attend skydiving class before their first jump. The instructor tells them they will travel about 176 feet per second. How many miles per hour is this? All right, so in this case we have our unit rate, which is 176 feet per second. All right, so let's go ahead and write that first. So we're going to start with our unit rate, which is 176, and that's feet. And it's over, and then 1, and then s to seconds. Okay? Now, we need to transfer this into miles per hour. All right, so you can do it whichever way you want. Okay, you can either do the miles first and then change it to hours after that, or you can do the hours first and then change it into hours. It makes me no difference. Okay? I would say for us, let's start with the time first. That might be a little bit easier. Okay, so we're going to do time up here. Okay, we're in seconds, and I have to transfer into an hour. So let's think about it. So if there's 60 seconds in 1 minute, and there's 60 minutes for 1 hour, that means we need 60 times 60. Okay, so what would be 60 times 60? That would be 3,600. So there's actually 3,600 seconds in 1 hour's time. Okay? Now let's go ahead and cancel these off. But this time, instead of like regrouping, we're going to go ahead and move on again. So now we have it in hours, but we need to change our feet into miles. Okay, so how many feet are in a mile? Well, there's a page in the back of the book. Okay, if you don't know, like the very last page, it gives you your measurement conversions if you need it. Okay, for this one, it tells you that there's 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Okay, 5,280 feet in a mile. So in this case, we're going to, we need to cancel out our feet. So 1 mile needs to be on top, and the number of feet in that mile needs to go on the bottom. So that will be 5,000. Oops. So 5,280 feet. Now remember, as long as one's on the north and one's on the south, we can cancel. So this is going to take the feet out and the feet out. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the two top numbers together, and we're going to divide it by the last number on the bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And you're going to get big numbers, so I usually don't rewrite all this just because we don't need to. All right, so we're again, multiply the top. Multiply your top and divide by your bottom. Okay, now if you set it up correctly each time like I did, you'll only have one number on the bottom most of the time. Sometimes you'll mess up and accidentally get it on the wrong one. It'll still work out. It's just you're going to have to multiply 2 times on the bottom and then figure out what the top is and then divide it. So it might take you one extra step. Okay, so we're going to take 176 times 3600. Okay, get that answer, and that gave me 633,600, right? Okay, now we're going to divide it by the bottom. So we're going to divide that number then by 5,280. And I came up with exactly 120. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, which labels are still left? The only thing left on the top is miles, so that's going to be miles. And then we have on the bottom, it's per hour. So it's miles, let me write it in here. So 120 miles per hour. And you can use MPH as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and erase this up here so we don't think that it's messed up. There we go. Okay, so 120 miles per hour. All right, let's take a look at 2A. So you may want to stick with me for one more of these, and then from there we'll try it on our own. All right, 2A says, the TVG is a high-speed rail train in France. Wait, TGV, is that what I said? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, at top speed, it runs at an average of 320 kilometers per hour. Remember, they use metrics over in other countries. How many meters per second is this? All right, so let's take a look. So we got the unit rate right here, 320 per hour. So that's our starting point. 320 kilometers is km, in case you forgot, and then per hour, so 1 hour. Now I need to change this into meters per second. All right, so what do we want to change first? I always like to change the time first. I don't know why, I just think it's the most easiest. All right, so again, we're trying to go from 1 hour into seconds. Okay, we're trying to go into seconds. So how many seconds are in an hour? Well, we just did it. There was 3,600 seconds. But this time, I want the hour to cancel out, right? So the hour needs to be on top, and that's where people get confused with this lesson. Remember my thing at the very beginning. You need your labels to cancel this time. So this time you need the hours diagonal from each other, because if you put on bottom, then they won't cancel. So you need the word hours to cancel. So that's going to be 1 hour, which is 3,600 seconds. All right, that's going to take care of these. So let's cross those off. All right, good. Now we're left with kilometers per second, right? Well, we need to change it into meters per second. So we got to change the distance as well as the time, which we just did the time, so now we're going to do the distance. So now we have to use our metric knowledge. So how many meters are actually in 1 kilometer? Well, there's 1,000 of them. All right, so we want the kilometer to cancel, so that's going to go on the bottom. So in 1 kilometer, there's 1,000 meters. Okay, if you're wondering where I'm getting all these numbers from, it's because you're supposed to know them from previous years. I'm not just pulling them out of thin air, okay? If you need a metric chart, come see me and I will try to get one for you. Okay, so let's start canceling here. So now with my kilometers on the bottom, that's going to cancel these out and these out, all right? So it's the same process. You're going to multiply your numbers on top, and then because there's only one number left, besides 1, of course, on the bottom, then we're going to divide that by that. So we're going to have 320 times, the 1 doesn't count, so 1,000. Get that answer, and that came up to 320,000. Then we're going to divide it by the bottom number, which is 3,600. So divided by 3,600. And looks like I got 88.8 repeating. All right, so that's going to be an approximately. So it's going to be an approximate of 88.8. And what's my label? The only thing left on top was meters. So meters per, and then we had seconds on the bottom. So meters per second. So 88.8 meters per second. That's going pretty fast. All right? That's really, really, really going fast, actually. All right, let's try the next one. So if you weren't able to, if you didn't do that one on your own, definitely pause and at least try this next one on your own. Okay? So it says an adult cheetah can reach a speed of about 70 miles per hour. How fast is this in feet per second? So again, here's my unit rate, 70 miles per hour. That's what I got to start with. So 70 miles over 1 hour. We need to change that into feet per second. So again, let's change our time first. We need the hour to cancel, so it's going to be just like this last one we did. So that means 1 hour has to go on top this time because we want the seconds to be the 1 remaining. So it's going to be 3,600 seconds. Okay, let's go ahead and cancel out the word hour. Now instead of miles, I need it in feet. Okay, so again, you have to think, how many feet are in a mile? There's 5,280. So we need that on top because we want the feet to be the last one. So we want miles to cancel, so it needs to be on the bottom. So it's going to be 5,280 feet. And then we're going to have 1 mile on bottom, and then that's going to cancel out the word miles. Okay, again, same process. You're going to multiply the two numbers on top, so that's going to be 70 times 5,280, and I've got 369,600. We're going to divide that by the bottom number, which is 3,600, and I got 102.6 repeating, so we'll have to round off on that one to 102.7. So it's going to be approximately 102.7. In this case, it's supposed to be in feet per second, right? Yes, feet per second. Always go back to your original prompt and make sure you got the right measurements, okay? If you end up with miles per second, that means you forgot to either cancel something or you put it in the wrong spot, okay? So always go back to your original labels and make sure you're cross-canceling your labels there each time. Okay, so there's those. Let's go ahead and continue on. If you need to pause and catch up or just redo that whole thing again, feel free to pause and rewind and watch all that again. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and continue on. All right. Next, we're going to complete each conversion and round to the nearest hundredth. In this case, we went 12 centimeters, and we need to convert it into inches. Okay? We're going to take 12 centimeters and convert it into inches. So I gave you the chart over here. This is on page 200, I think, if I remember right, or 201, something like that in our textbook. I went ahead and copied it for you just so you always have it, and we don't have to always have the book out to look up these measurements. You can just use this to refer back to it. All right, well, what you have to do is we're going from centimeters, which is metrics, to customary or imperial, sometimes we call it as well, So that means we're going to use the right side columns. Okay, see where it says metric to customary? Okay, so that's what we're going to do for that one. So for this one, it's centimeters to inches. That's right here. Okay? All right, so I even gave you a little hint. So if we know that 1 centimeter is approximately 0.394 inches, then am I going to find out what 12 centimeters is? Okay, think back to the previous lessons. Whenever I found out how much 1 gallon of gasoline was, how was I going to figure out how much multiple gallons is going to cost? We're going to multiply it, right? Same thing here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to multiply it. So we have 12 of them this time, so we're going to take 12 of the centimeters. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to label yet. Okay, we're going to take 12 of them, and we're going to multiply by the unit rate, and the unit rate was 0.394. Okay, so go ahead and type that in, 12 times 0.394, and that's going to give us 4.73 approximately. Okay, these are always going to be approximately just because they were never equal to begin with. All right, so whenever you do these will always be approximations. So 4.73, and this will be inches this time. All right, so this is a whole lot easier, in my opinion, than the last ones. The last ones get a little bit weird just because you got to cancel out words instead of numbers. Okay, let's look at B. We're going from 4 quarts to liters. 4 quarts to liters. Okay, so quarts is what? Is that customary or is that metric? Meaning, do we use it or do other countries use it? We use quarts, okay? They use the liters. So we need to go on the left side this time. That's considered capacity because it's liquid. All right, so right here I see that there is 1 quart, which is 0.946 liters, okay? All right, so if I know that 1 quart is that much, how am I going to figure out what 4 quarts is? We're going to multiply. So we're going to take our 4, we're going to times it by the unit rate, which is 0.946. And that's going to be approximately, go ahead and type that in, so it's 4 times 0.946. And again, we're rounding up to the nearest hundredth each time, so that comes out to 3.78. 3.78. In this case, it's going to be liters, which is capital L for us. Okay, liters is a capital L. Okay, all right. Go ahead and pause it and try the next 3 on your own. I gave you the little conversions down there to help you out. If you need to use the table, though, you can obviously use that. And let's go ahead and take a look. So we have 6 miles as approximately 1 kilometer. So our table tells us that 1 mile is approximately 1.609 kilometers. So we're going to multiply by 6 then. So it's going to be 6 times that much, so 1.609. And you should have came up with 9.65 kilometers. And that's one reason why whenever you do track and field things, they always use metrics instead of miles, just because everyone else uses metric system. Okay, but also it makes it look like they ran a whole lot farther, right? If I say, oh, I ran 6 miles today, you're like, oh, that's pretty far, right? And I say, oh, I ran 9.65 kilometers, you're like, oh, that's really far. Well, no, it's actually the same amount, okay? So metrics just makes everything look a little bit bigger for the most part, okay? Not always, but sometimes. All right, let's look at B. It's 12 ounces into how many grams? So 1 ounce was 28.350 grams, so we're going to multiply that by 12 then. So it's going to be 12 times 28.350, and of course the 0 doesn't technically matter, but we'll go ahead and include it just for fun. Okay, and that one came out to 340.2, and then we do need to round off, so that would be 0. So 340.20, and then grams. Okay, 340.20 grams. Okay, and then 3C. So we have 11 yards is approximately how many meters? Well, 1 yard is approximately 0.914 meters, so we're going to multiply that by 11, so that's 11 times 0.914. Again, it's always approximately. And that one came out to 10.05. In this case, that would be meters. And there we go. Okay. All right, go ahead and pause it if you need to catch up. Otherwise, we'll continue on with example number 4. All right, and I apologize, mine has a big blank in it. I don't know if yours does too or not, but if it does, sorry. It says, at top speed, a giant tortoise can travel about 900 feet per hour. How many centimeters per second is this? Can a giant tortoise travel at top speed? So we have 900 feet per hour, and we had changed it into how many centimeters per second. Okay, so we're going to be using that chart that we just used. All right. Okay, let's get this thing going. So we have 900 feet per hour, so it's going to be 900 on top. And that's going to go over 1 hour. Now, we got to convert hours into seconds. So I always like to do the bottom one first, as you know. Okay, I don't know why, that's just what I like. Okay, so let's go ahead and change that. So we need to figure out how many seconds are in 1 hour again, okay, which is going to be 3,600. Okay, so in 1 hour, there's going to be 3,600 seconds. Oops. Looks like 6, sorry. 600 seconds. There we go. All right, so that's going to cancel the hours out. Okay, so now we at least have it in feet per second. Okay, but instead of feet, I need it into centimeters. Okay, so you need to go back to your chart. Okay, you may need to, I don't know how yours is set up, but if you need to turn the page, whatever you need to do there. Okay, we need to go from feet into centimeters. Okay, from feet into centimeters. So we're going to have to figure that out. So it looks like the only thing they tell us is that 1 foot is 0.305 meters. Okay, they don't have an exact measurement for that one. They also tell us that 1 centimeter is 0.394 inches. All right, so you could kind of go both ways with that one. You could either convert your inches into centimeters or vice versa. Yeah, you could use the 1 inch as 2.540 centimeters too. Okay, so it doesn't matter to me how we do it. I think it's probably going to be easiest just to use the 1 foot. All right, so if 1 foot is approximately 0.305 meters, okay, think about what your staircase for metrics, okay? When you have 0.305 meters, you need to change it into centimeters. So how many hops down on the staircase is that? Okay, well, from meters, the next step down would be decimeters, and then we would have centimeters. So that means we're going to go down 2 spots. So this would go over 1, 2. So 1 foot is approximately, in this case, will be 30.5 centimeters. All right, so we're going to use that one. So we're going to do times. We need 30.5 centimeters, which is approximately 1 foot. Okay, that's going to cancel that one and cancel out that one. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and type those in. So remember, you multiply the 2 top numbers together, and then you're going to divide by the bottom number. So we're going to take 900 times 30.5, which gives me 27,450. Okay, then we're going to divide that off by 3,600, and it came out to 7.625. Okay, 7.625. 7.625. It does not tell us how to round. Oh, let's see, what were we doing? Let's do the nearest hundredth, because I think that's what we were doing in the previous ones. So let's just do the nearest hundredth. So for this one, it's going to be approximately, and then we'll do 7.63. 7.63, and this is going to be in centimeters per second. Centimeters per second. There we go. Okay. All right. If you got lost on that one, go ahead and rewind it and watch it again. I know that kind of gets weird over here when you have to change your metrics within itself before you can do a customary to metric conversion. All right. Otherwise, let's go ahead and move on to number 4 down here at the bottom. Okay, it says, at a recent Winter Olympics, USA short track speed skater Apollo Ono won a gold medal by skating about 12 meters per second. Rounded to the nearest hundredth, how many miles per hour is this? Okay, well, let's start with the original amount, which was 12 meters for 1 second. So 12 meters for 1 second. Okay, now I need to change this into miles per hour. So again, I like to change my time first. So we said there's 3,600 seconds per hour, but this time we want the seconds to cancel. All right, so where does it go if it's going to cancel? It needs to go on the top. So that's going to be 3,600 seconds for 1 hour. Okay, that's going to take out the S. All right, now we got to go from meters into miles. So let's go back to our chart and let's take a look here. Can I go directly from meters into miles? So when I look at metric to customary, it tells me that there's 1 meter, which is 1.094 yards. Or I can say that there's 1 yard for 0.914 meters. So for us, because we need to go from meters into miles, I don't really see anything. The only other one we can use is that there's 1 mile and 1.609 kilometers. Okay, so think about it. Can I change, let's see, I lost my train of thought. We're going from meters into miles. Okay, so I could use the 1 meter, okay, which is 1.094 yards, or I could use the, and then change my yards into miles, or I could use that 1 yard. No, let's see. No, I wouldn't want to do that one. Actually, I could use 1 mile is however many kilometers and change that into meters. I think that might be the easier way to do it. Yeah, let's do it that way. Okay, so 1 mile is approximately 1.609 kilometers. Okay. We need to go to meters. So think about the staircase again. Remember, King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. All right, is the little saying to help us. So King is kilos. We need to go to the unit, which is meters. So King Henry died unexpectedly. King Henry died unexpectedly. So how many jumps is that from king to unexpectedly? That's 3 jumps. So that means they need to move back 3 spots. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3. So that means 1 mile is approximately 1,609, 609 meters. Okay? All right, so let's type that in. Let's see what we get. So we need to cancel out our meters this time. So mile's going to go on top. So 1 mile is approximately 1,609 meters. Okay? So my meter is now going to cancel, which is good. So I have miles on top, hours on bottom. Okay, everything looks good. So let's try this. So we have 12 times 3,600, which is 43,200. And then we're going to divide that by 1,609. Hold on, I may have typed that in wrong. 12 times 3,600. Let's see. Hold on, I think I typed that in wrong. Oh, that's right. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, that's right. 26.85. Okay. Sorry, I was like, I totally messed it up. But no, I didn't. I was looking at the wrong part. I was looking at the wrong question. Okay, so when you round it off, it's 26 point and then 848, so that would be 85, right? Nearest hundredth? Yeah, nearest hundred. So 85, and then that's going to be in miles per hour. So miles per hour. Okay? All right, and I think that is it. So go ahead and rewind if you need to. I know that last one gets kind of weird. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at the answer from the previous one. I'm like, wait, we're totally off here. But no, we're right. Okay, so 26.85 miles per hour. So again, the whole thing when you're doing these guys is start with that unit rate. Okay, that's 12 meters per second. So start with that one. I always like to do my time first. I don't know why, it just seems like it makes it go a whole lot easier. All right, so change your hours into seconds, or your seconds into minutes, or your minutes into hours, whatever it is. Okay, don't forget to line those up diagonally. So in this last one, we need to actually cancel out seconds, and all the other ones we were transferring it to seconds. Well, now we had to go from a second to an hour, so the seconds need to be on the top. Don't forget to mark out your letters. Okay, then once you get your time done, then you'll change your distance or your capacity, whatever it is, okay, or your weight. So in this case, then that would change it to that. If you're not sure about your metrics, okay, let's write this down here at the bottom if you need to. It's King Henry died unexpectedly. I think I spelled that right. Drinking chocolate milk. Okay, this is kilo. Oops, so that would be km. Km. This means hecto, so that would be hm. Died, that's deca. That's dkm. That's the only one that has a little special one. Okay, so that's dkm. Unexpectedly means unit, so your unit would consist of either meters, grams, or liters. Drinking is deci, that's just normal, so deci, in this case meter, so dm, or dc, or not dc, either dm, dg, or dl, okay? The m is just whatever unit we're using. Chocolate will be centa, so that'd be centimeters, centigrams, or centiliters, which you guys use a lot in science. And then milk, which would be milli, so that'd be millimeters. Okay? So use this little chart down here at the bottom if you're still unsure about how to do the metric thing. Okay? So that's the easiest way to do it. I know a couple people learn it a little bit differently than this, but this is the easiest way I've ever found to teach this. So if you need help, let me know. Otherwise, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.